What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Cording. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Monday. There's been an epic uh, S ton of news today, whether it was Elon Musk buying nearly 10% of Twitter. It was this reporter, Taylor Lorenz, being awful. I guess I don't know what order I'm going to release everything in, but a new Will Smith update. And I appreciate that you're all here for it. By the way, if you get a second, open a new tab, or if you're just listening, when you get home, head on over to thequartering.com and sign up for my mailing list. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to email you my videos. I'm going to email you when it's important. The reason the email list is important is, as you'll find out later, it's harder and harder to reach you all. It's harder and harder to have conversations. I want to be able to get directly to you when something's important and when we have an upcoming project. So head on over there. It's in the upper right-hand corner. Anyway, I don't know if you remember this. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for signing up. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a bakery in, I think it was Ohio, where a college essentially sicked their employees on them, or their students on them, to smear them and call them all sorts of bad things, and they called them racist, and they did this because I believe at the time, okay, there was a shoplifter. Here's what happens. Okay, if we go back to December 10th, 2017. So this is a way back. Roll back 2017. Racial dispute at bakery, Royals Oberlin College and town. Students at Oberlin College have long enjoyed pastries, bagels, and chocolates from Gibson's Bakery, a century-owned, family-owned business near campus. That sweet relationship has turned bitter amid a hotly disputed accusation of racism, roiling a school and town long known for their liberal politics. The dispute began in November 2016 with the arrest of 3 black Oberlin students who tried stealing wine from Gibson's. And it's now in a lawsuit in which the exasperated bakery owners accuse the college and top dean of slandering Gibson as some sort of racist establishment and taking steps to destroy the family's livelihood. Caught in the middle of our longtime residents of this town of 8,300 people, many of whom identify themselves as liberal, but who have patronized Gibson's for decades. Many believe the timing was right for the conflict to boil over. The arrest came after Donald Trump won the presidential election, shocking, electrifying students who had long heard suspicions of racial profiling at Gibson's. Again, I cannot stress this enough. They were stealing wine, liquor. They were stealing liquor. They weren't getting profiled. They were getting caught, okay? 3 students were arrested after punching and kicking the white shopkeeper. The 18 and 19-year-old students said that they were racially profiled and that their only crime was trying to buy alcohol with fake IDs. The shopkeeper, Alan Gibson, said the students attacked him after he caught them trying to steal bottles of wine. The day after the arrest, hundreds of students protested outside the bakery. Members of Oberlin Student Senate pushed a resolution saying that Gibson's had a, quote, history of racial profiling and discriminatory treatment, with no evidence, of course. Few colleges put liberal into liberal arts more than Oberlin, which in the early 1800s became the first in the country to regularly admit women and minorities, blah, 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 blah. News articles in 2015 quoted students decrying the school's dining hall sushi and Vietnamese sandwiches as cultural appropriation. The divisive voice of a generation, actress Leah Dunham, famously a 2008 Oberlin alumna, was quoted in Food and Wine magazine saying the press reported it as, "How crazy are Oberlin kids?" But to me, it was actually right on. With Oberlin's reputation preceding it and news of Gibson's protests spreading online, bikers and out-of-town counter-protesters soon converged on the town to jeer students and buy donuts from Gibson's. Conservatives derided the students on social media as coddled snowflakes with a mob mentality, while students attacked the store as a symbol of systemic racism. 3 students arrested at Gibson's pled guilty, okay, in August to attempted theft. I thought they were just trying to buy it. And then aggravated trespassing, said the student in required plea agreement and their actions were wrong and that the store wasn't racist. They said this. Even so, students continue to boycott Gibson's over this perceived profiling, causing the business to suffer. Pressed by a reporter to provide any evidence whatsoever, examples of profiling, which they said that when the black students enter the store, they feel as though they're being watched, quote, racism can't always be proven on an Excel sheet, said Cameron Dunbar, an Oberlin Jr. and vice chair of the Student Senate. So no evidence existed. Then, on November 7th, the Gibsons sued Oberlin and Meredith Monado, the vice president and dean of students, for slander, accusing faculty members of encouraging demonstrations against the bakery, which we now know they did, by suspending classes, distributing flyers, and supplying protesters with free food and drink. It says Monado took part in the demonstration against Gibsons with a bullhorn and distributed a flyer that said that the bakery is a racist establishment with a long history of racial profiling. Today, the lawsuit says college tour guides continue to inform prospective students that Gibson's is racist. Dave Gibson, the bakery's owner, says the lawsuit is about standing up for his right to crack down on shoplifting without being branded as a racist. The suit says Oberlin demanded that he stop pushing criminal charges on first-time shoplifters and call school's dean instead. No, I would push charges for sure. I have not taken a paycheck since this happened more than a year ago, Gibson said in an email. Sometimes you have to stand up to a large institution. Gibson's loses thousands of dollars to theft, the lawsuit said, and it rejects any accusations of racial bias, pointing to police figures in the past 5 years show only 6 out of 40 adults that they got arrested were even black. What a shock. The school said in a statement that the lawsuit was filed and that they deny all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? They lost, and they lost legendarily. $31 million this college lost. It's going to bankrupt the whole school. Bakery wins largest settlement in history against liberal college that falsely smeared them as racist. Gibson's Bakery in Ohio has an extra $31 million, and Oberlin College is going to have to raise tuition or possibly fire a feminist underwater basket weaving studies professor. This via Brodigan on louderwithcarter.com. That's the scoop after the bakery was awarded the largest settlement in state history when a college falsely accused the bakery of racism. Journey back with me for some years. Well, I've already done that, and I've explained exactly what happened. Oh, the bakery owner is white and the shoplifters are black. This seems like an important detail. Back in 2017, Gibson's Bakery sued Oberlin and its vice president and dean of students for slander, accusing them of all sorts of things, which I talked about yesterday. A 2019 settlement was upheld by a state appeals court. The bakery originally asked for $40 million. It was cut down to $25 million, but they also got an additional $6 million to cover their legal fees. Monado stayed employed at Oberlin for 2 years after costing the college $40 million at the time. She left to take the vice presidency at another college. Yes, that's correct. A woman who cost the college tens of millions of dollars got a job at another college, which is all you need to know about college. The only way to push back against the woke leftist twats infesting academia and other institutions in this country is to cost them money. Let's hope Oberlin sets a precedent. Well, remember Evergreen College, where they let the kids kind of occupy the school? They've been struggling with enrollment. Remember Mizzou, where they had all those BLM protests? They had to close entire dormitories because enrollment went down so much. Remember the Colorado baker who decided that they didn't want to make wedding cakes for gay couples? They won their lawsuit. I mean, this is the thing. Like, this guy keeps getting harassed. Look, if it were me and I'm a bakery, just like when I say Disney should stay out of politics, I think you should just bake the cake. This guy, the exception is this guy is openly religious and following his religious beliefs. In general, I would still say, God would say, "What judge not, lest ye be judged." So make them their phallic cake or whatever. But if he doesn't want to, just like Disney, I guess it's a private company, so they don't have to do that. And this, remember, went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Colorado baker who refused to bake a cake to celebrate the marriage of LGBTQ people because of a religious objection. The ruling was 7-2. The court held the Colorado Civil Rights Commission showed hostility towards Baker based on his religious beliefs. The ruling is a win for Baker Jack Phillips, who cited his beliefs as a Christian, believes unsettled broader Constitution questions on religious liberty. Well, I mean, I think, you know, if it was any other religion other than Christianity, no one would be questioning it, right? And I think that that's just the truth. Christianity is the, you know, it's kind of the one religion that mainstream press and media and stuff like that are totally fine to make fun of and mock. And look, I'm not a religious guy. I don't think anything should be off limits. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. And I mean, this is another example where, like, these couples want to sue this guy. Instead of going to get their cake from somewhere else, they went somewhere where they specifically knew it was going to be a problem, and they tried to sue him and lost, okay? Oberlin lost $40 million. And they're going to, this is going to, like, it could end the entire college. This is a massive amount of money. It could bankrupt the college. They tried to take on a family-run bakery that was 135 years old, and they lost. And then they appealed it, and they lost again. And why? Because some teacher that makes $35,000 a year at that college told her students to go down there and cause problems, to live vicariously through her students. This is very common. Remember that teacher we had at Mizzou who was like, "Can we get some security over here?" and try to push out journalists? She was fired. Remember all the teachers that supported these losers at Evergreen? They ended up getting fired. So there are wins. They just don't get reported very often. And I hope that this one gets spread far and wide. Remember, before the end of the day, head on over to thequartering.com, sign up for my newsletter. And it's really just my mailing list. I promise to not, you know, send a bunch of stuff, but I would really like to know that I could contact you all if, you know, I got banned off something or whatever, you know. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.